players. How would you assess their program since they've joined?
Well, I didn't see it before. I came to Arkansas State, so I really don't have a lot to compare it to other than last year. And last year I thought they had quality players, and again, that are good enough to beat you. I know Willie fairly well now, and actually have developed a great friendship with him. He's at our Sun Belt Conference meetings is a guy that I spent a lot of time around, and he has young kids like I do, and so we kind of hit it off and think a lot of him, and I'm certain that he's hired a great staff to try to build. They have good facilities. I see no reason why they won't continue to progress. I'm certain that he would say that they're not where they want to be right now, as we would say also, but just from last year to this year, I think they have quality players.
What is Western Kentucky looking like on the defensive side of the ball?
Well, against Kentucky, they were dominating, very dominant, and that's a scary game for us to watch. Our kids played with extreme passion, and we're somewhat, in my mind, at a little disadvantage in the fact that they've played 3 football games, and no one they played is anything like us. And they have a new defensive coordinator, and you're not certain, we're not certain, you know, how they will try to play us, because we're certainly not like Kentucky or Navy, and really not like Indiana State either. So it's kind of a guessing game, you know, how we will go and look at where he came from, what he did there also, and try to find someone that is similar to us to look at. But we're you know, it's kind of a guessing game for us. I know that I think they're very solid in their interior defensive line, and their Mike linebacker is extremely good. He's a true freshman out of Florida that can really play. Secondary wise, it's kind of hard for us to tell because really, again, Navy, they're not going to try to throw it around, and Kentucky really didn't either, nor did Indiana State. So it's I mean, they did some play pass stuff, but that's not a huge part of who we are either. So it's really hard for us to evaluate. I thought they played with extreme passion and energy against Kentucky, and Indiana State, they didn't play with as much passion. I'm sure Willie would say the same thing, just like we didn't Saturday night in the first half on our defensive side. But I definitely think they're a team that can, if you watch that Kentucky game, they really dominated. Their interior folks dominated the game.
What happened to them against Indiana State?
Well, Indiana State was very successful at running the football, and you know, they got in some, but they were mostly 2 or 3 tight ends at times, and for most of the game, and they hurt them with some play pass over the top also, and they turn it. The biggest thing with Western right now is they've got to be one of the top teams in the nation in turnovers, and seemed like every time we would turn on a clip from Indiana State had the ball in great field position to start the possession. And I haven't had a chance to watch the offensive side of Western in that game yet, but I do know, I believe 14 is the number that they have in 3 games, 14 turnovers. So you do that, and you're fighting an uphill battle.
How big advantage is it for them to have a week off to prepare for your offense?
Unfortunately, we see that a lot this year in the Sun Belt. Seems like everybody's got a week off before us. Not everyone, but at least half the games, if not more, do. And I don't know. That's got to be an advantage schematically. I'm not sure that a week off always. That's a long time in between games, and if you're banged up, I think it's great. If you're not, particularly after a loss, you're really anxious to get back out and get that taste out of your mouth. So I've seen it work both ways. It's really hard to say. Again, I think schematically it's to their advantage because they have a long time to work on us.
Do you have any better idea about Frankie? Or
Frankie will be questionable all the way up to game time. Won't be able to know until then.